In this video, I'm going to show you how to dehydrate garlic, onion, celery, scallions, and leeks. Now, over here we have elephant garlic or mammoth garlic. And I like this instead of the small garlic because it's easier to slice on my meat slicer, and then I crunch it up afterwards when I'm using it in my cooking. So this is how I do it. Now this is about the thickness that you want on your garlic, okay? And you don't cook it or blanch it. All you do is you set it on your dehydrator tray, so you don't do anything to it at all, okay? And then when it's done, it'll turn out like this, and it'll be nice and crisp. And you can break it up and put it into dishes. You can put it in your grinder, and you can grind it into garlic powder and add it to salt and make your own garlic salt. Next, we're going to do onions. Now, there's two ways of doing onions. You can blanch them first, or you can just put them on your trays raw. Now, if you're going to dehydrate them in ringlets like this, which you'd use for stews and soups and so on, then you'd want to blanch them first because they take forever to dehydrate. So what you do is you take your onion, you peel it, and then you put it on your slicer. Okay, now here are your onions, and this is the thickness. Now you can cut them a lot thicker than this too, so they will dehydrate just fine. Now these are the ones that you're going to have to blanch, okay? You can dehydrate them without blanching these ones first, but it takes a really long time, so I recommend just blanching them just for a minute. And we're going to take them over the stove, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, now you see that the water's at a rolling boil, and I'm going to take the onions and I'm just going to pop them in the water just for a minute, okay? And not more than that. Okay, it's been a minute, and this is what the onions look like. And like I said, you don't want to blanch them for any more than a minute. That's all they need is just 1 minute in boiling water, and then take them out and put them on your tray. And then what you're going to do after you put them on your tray is you're going to take your cold water and you're going to spray them with cold water to cool them down. It also stops them from cooking by putting the cold water on. And you can tell that they're slightly caramelized. And don't worry about them being on top of each other. They'll dehydrate just fine, and then you would place these in your dehydrator. Okay, next what we're going to do is chopped onions. Now here are your chopped onions right here. These were not blanched. They were just chopped up in small pieces and put on the dehydrator tray, and they dehydrate just fine. So if you cut them up in small pieces and chop them, they'll dehydrate really easy. But if you do the ringlets, you want to make sure that you steam them first because they will dehydrate faster, but you don't have to. One thing that I do want to tell you that if you get an onion and you cut it up and you dehydrate it and it turns pink, this is a sign that there's a high sugar content inside the onion. And the way to take care of that is to make sure that you blanch your onions first, and that usually takes care of the problem. Okay, next we're going to do celery. Again, with celery, there's two ways of doing it. You can blanch it, or you can just put it on the dehydrator tray raw and dehydrate it that way. And I'm going to show you how I chop up my celery. I leave the leaves and everything right on. Okay, I wash it, dry it, leave the leaves on, and then I put it on my meat slicer. Now you can cut this at any thickness that you want, however you make your soup. So remember, when you're cooking, it's whatever you like best. So I'm going to do this a little thicker. Okay, this is the thickness that I did the celery in, but you can go thicker. But remember, if you do go thicker, you're definitely going to want to blanch it first. But if you do this size, you can go ahead and dehydrate it without blanching it. But I'm going to go ahead and blanch it and show you what that looks like. Okay, it's been 1 minute. That's all you want to blanch it for is 1 minute. And then you can put it right on your dehydrator tray. Now, one thing about your onions, your scallions, your celery, and your garlic, you can do them all in the same loaf. So you don't have to worry about separating those. Now, when I'm done, a little cold water, I'm just cool them down. Okay, here's the celery that's been steamed or blanched first, okay? And here's the celery that was just placed on the dehydrator tray without being blanched. They were both cut to this size, but you'll notice that the ones that were placed on the tray without being blanched first are a lot smaller, and the color is different too. If you can see the color, you'll see there's a big difference in the color. Okay, now we're going to do scallions. Scallions, you do not have to blanch or do anything with them. All you do is wash them, cut the ends off, and then chop them up to whatever thickness you like. Now, here you have the dried scallions. They dry out real easy. Now remember, all of the things that I'm doing here, you want to keep the dehydrator at 120 to 125 and no higher than that. Next, we're going to do leeks. Now, one thing about leeks that you want to make sure that you do is you want to wash them really good, because leeks are grown in a lot of sand, so they get really sandy. So what you do is that you never want to go any further than right about here, because from this point up you're going to get sand. So what you do is you cut the ends off, and you can place these on your meat slicer. Okay, this is the thickness that I like when cutting the leeks like this. And with the onion, you're going to want to do the same thing. You're going to want to separate them into ringlets. So once again, you do not have to blanch these or anything. You're just going to separate them like this. Okay, now if you don't get every one of them out of the ringlet, the layers undone, don't worry about it. They'll still dehydrate just fine. Just want to push them out like that. Okay. Now, once again, it's how you want to cut your leeks. Some people like them cut like this, and other people like them cut like this. Okay, so if you want to cut them like that, what you're going to do is cut the ends off, take it up to about here, and then you're going to slice it this way and separate the layers. And then what you do is that you just take your knife and you're going to cut down like this. And you're going to make these little pieces like this. And you can do those, like I said, whatever thickness that you like. And then you just lay these on your dehydrator tray like this. And when they're done, they will turn out like this. Nice and thick. And that's how you dehydrate leeks, scallions, garlic, onions, and celery. Thank you.